In a move that's making global headlines, US President Donald Trump is all set to host Syrian President Ahmad al-Sharaa at the White House, the first ever visit by a Syrian leader to Washington. The meeting, expected on November 10, marks a historic moment in US-Syria relations and a deeply controversial one.
زيارتنا أيضا إلى واشنطن في الشهر بداية الأسبوع القادم أو الأسبوع الأول من شهر نوفمبر تأتي أيضا ضمن نفس السياق أن سوريا منفتحة على الجميع. فخامة الرئيس أحمد شرع سيكون في البيت الأبيض في بداية شهر نوفمبر. هذه الزيارة بالتأكيد هي تاريخية، وربما هي أول زيارة لرئيس سوري إلى يدخل البيت الأبيض في عبر ربما أكثر من 70 سنة أو 80 سنة الماضية. بالتأكيد هناك الكثير من المواضيع التي يتم الحديث عنها، بداية رفع العقوبات، فتح صفحة جديدة بين الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية وسوريا. نريد أن تكون هناك شراكة قوية جدا بين أمريكا وسوريا.
Ahmad al-Sharaa isn't your regular statesman. Before becoming Syria's president, he was known to the world as Abu Mohammed al-Golani, a former al-Qaeda commander with a $10 million US bounty on his head. He once fought American troops in Iraq and spent years in US custody. Fast forward to 2025 and the same man is walking into the White House not as a prisoner but as a guest of honor. The visit follows a quiet meeting between Trump and al-Sharaa in Saudi Arabia earlier this year, the first encounter between the two nations' leaders in 25 years since Hafiz al-Assad met Bill Clinton in 2000. For Washington, this isn't just about Syria, it's about realpolitik, cold, calculated diplomacy dressed as reconciliation. On paper, the official agenda is to sign an agreement for Syria to join the US-led coalition against ISIS. But beneath the surface, there's a lot more going on. For Trump, hosting al-Sharaa could serve three goals. First, it's a foreign policy win ahead of elections, a chance to look like the peacemaker who brought Syria back into the fold. Second, it's a way to counter Russian influence in Damascus, especially after al-Sharaa's warm meeting with Vladimir Putin last week in Moscow, where he pledged to restore and redefine ties with Russia. And third, the Israel factor. The US is pushing for a broader West Asia peace framework, especially after Israel and Hamas recently implemented a fragile ceasefire and hostage deal. Trump wants to rally regional players, including former pariahs like Syria, to stabilize the post-war order. The White House likely sees al-Sharaa as a necessary, if unsavory, player in shaping what comes next. Still, critics are calling the move morally dubious. Hosting a man once aligned with al-Qaeda raises tough questions about America's selective memory and strategic hypocrisy. Is Washington normalizing a former jihadist simply because it suits US interests? The optics aren't great, especially after Israeli strikes in Gaza killed over 100 people earlier this week, threatening the fragile ceasefire Trump claims to support. Against that backdrop, inviting a controversial Syrian leader to Washington looks less like diplomacy and more like damage control in a region on edge. As Trump rolls out the red carpet, one thing's clear: this isn't about friendship, it's about influence, and in the ruthless chessboard of West Asian politics, morality often comes second to strategy. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.